Hello friends, this Quilt-mas, we are doing a rainbow quilt. So I have been saving up quilting cotton for a while to use on my rainbow quilt. I've been wanting to make this rainbow quilt for years now. Turns out I was going to need significantly less cotton than I actually did save up. That is because we are using so many different colors. I conflated that in my mind. That's my bad. Obviously, my first step is measuring out and cutting out all of the squares. Good morning, I'm still in a pair of Christmas pajamas. Fat quarters are 18 by 21 inches, and I was originally wanting to cut them in half by the 18 inches to get 9 inches, which when we sew it together would mean that the quilt squares turn out to be 8 inches, and that was just going to make a approximately 6 by 7 square quilt. I was contemplating that last night and thought, you know what, I'm actually going to take my 18 inches of the fat quarter and instead divided that by 3 to give me 6-inch squares. So they were going to be this big, and now they are this big. I think that I'm gonna prefer these smaller squares, especially being as that allows me to fit a lot more color on here. I have already cut out all my squares. I have cut out 6 by 6 squares and laid them out to verify that I have enough for my grid. My grid is supposed to be about 9.5 by 11.5. So I have my squares laid out 9 by 12 right now, and lo and behold, I did not have enough. I am going to have to take remnants from my orange tie-dye and sew it together to make a big enough square. So let me show you here. So this is about the layout that I think that I liked best, starting with a purple in the corner. I just like to start with the purple in the corner. That's my personal preference. I like purple. Going all 12 away and 9 up. So I am consistently going to do the single fabric in lines. So we have like this blue and flower, then a blue and polka dots, then another blue and flower stripe diagonally. I can definitely see somebody who does not love patterns and organization nearly as much as me wanting to like switch it up a little bit, but I am very into this. So with this mapped out, I'm pretty stoked to continue, and I'm gonna get my, what's the word for it? Sewing machine. I'm gonna get my sewing machine, change out the black thread to some white thread, and get going. Start rocking this out. I'm going to start sewing this to 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 this, and just keep going down in that row. I think that that's the most appropriate way to tackle it. And now I have some room for my sewing machine. Let's get going. Okay, so I have all my strips sewn together. As you can see, they do make that lovely diagonal rainbow. I am so happy with that. And I am heating up my iron. We are getting ready to press our seams flat. So I think that the most strategic way to press our seams is to press the seams on one strip, then the strip that goes above it, and then taking it and laying it down face right side to right side, knowing that I'm going to sew along, let's say, the top, so that when I get done with the ironing portion, I go straight to the sewing portion and try to work as seamlessly as possible. The quilt top is all together. Just need The newly seamed seams, we need those ironed out now too. We have this black and white check picked out for our backing. It is like a fleece blanket material. You'll see all over TikTok and YouTube that people will just take two of the fleece materials together and just like tie it together to make the tie blanket that way. We're not gonna do batting. We're just gonna have the fleecy blanket stuff be warm enough so that we're not going to use batting, and we're not going to bother attaching it anywhere but the sides. So we're going to make construction a little bit easier that way. Yeah, you are very gross. I love you though. Erwin, the quilt is not ready to be tested yet. It's still in production. It's not in beta testing. I will join you on the quilt, okay? And now you get off the quilt, now that I'm on. So I have the quilt on the floor. This is where the quilt top ends, here and here. And it is approximately the entire length of this. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is sew across this top and the bottom, right sides together, flip it inside out. This is a long strip of 3-inch wide straight cut tape, and I ironed it in on 1 inch on that side only. So I'm thinking if I right sides together, attach it to the long sides, then do the shorter sides attached to the backing right sides together, then I will just have to flip my corners and fold it in. And because this is already folded down, so it'll add an inch border of purple. It'll be a feature. If you might recall from our last video, Quilt-mas 1, we used a purple binding around the entire quilt, and I made far too much of that, so I used that to just bump out the width a little bit and make it a little bit wider, and pretty much repeat the sealing technique that is in my quilt backing so easy even I can do it video. Erwin, I promise the quilt will be done soon. I am almost done, I promise. And then you can cuddle in it all day. I'm turning quilt tube inside out right now. I'm thirsty, my neck hurts, I'm tired. Erwin wants his quilt to be done. So, going to marathon through this. I can do it, I'm gonna get it. I just need to finish by sewing down this to the purple binding. Fold that over first. Hide it in the tape. It just likes that better. That's just how it wants to be folded. Okay. And then fold the tape down. That works. She's just gonna be angry to feed in the machine real quick. But we can do it. Mark my word, we can do it. I finished it! What do you think? What do you think, bud? What do you think? What do you think? Do you like it?
I was like, so.
I finished it. See?
This is the wall.
Yes. Oh, for you.
Daddy.
Oh, for you.
To my bed, Dad. Sheeran is where that trash.
Honestly, the way that I finished the quilt, I think that it looks better in the quilt backing so easy that even I can do it video. So I might recreate that on the next quilt. My plans have changed like 3 times for the quilt that comes next. We are doing a more Christmassy one though, so stay tuned for that. But the backing fabric is a little stretchy, so I originally did not use pins. Didn't realize it was a little bit stretchy and did not use pins, so it started stretching out a little bit, and I wound up with more backing than I had quilt. So was able to kind of rectify with the same technique of the shoving under the presser foot that you would use for a ruffle. So one side has some spots of the side, the wide side that are slightly ruffled on the back, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, I don't think that you would be able to notice it if I did not point it out to you. Unfortunately, I did skip 1 week of Quilt-mas. I did not intend to do that, but it does mean I have one less quilt to do, even though I was kind of looking forward to it. Let me know how you, like, would you like to see a Quilt-mas video but up a little bit late? Just let me know how you feel down below with any questions, comments, or concerns. New videos should be up on Fridays. I know I missed 2 Fridays. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you know when I actually do post. It's the holiday season. It's chaos, y'all. We all know. But thank you so much for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye.